Hello everybody, I hope that's paused. It looks like it is, so that's good. So I did the whistle stop today, and it was clear that my phone was zapped. Couldn't do a Facebook Live there. Talked about it literally within one block of the whistle stop. Everything fired up, full bars, full internet. The old missile twister, eh? Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about exactly what happened. I went there, loaded my live, ran it, and it didn't work. It didn't work at all. I had Ron there, good friend of mine, loyal party supporter, been with us a very, very long time, all the way through the Alberta Independence Party. I had Mark O'Reilly there too. Nobody could run a live, not attached to me. Phones were all zapped. Like I said, the one block, everything fired up full power. So, I talked to my mom, and she had my girls for the afternoon while I went out to the whistle stop. And of course, in Edmonton, the news, with the injunction, they list that the RCMP will be blocking anyone who advertises the whistle stop. What happened to Chris Young from the whistle stop? He ended up in prison, was arrested. We also had at the same day, along with this injunction, warrant out, which I knew Artur Pulaski was waiting. There was a warrant out for his arrest. They captured him today. They've arrested him, detained him, as well as now Chris Young. He will not get out until he goes before a judge. Jason Kenney absolutely used his crown power and authority as premier. Everyone talking about ministries. Hinshaw, and the list goes on and on, all the way to Madu, Justice Minister. These are the provincial crown powers of appointment. These are appointments by the Premier Jason Kenney in Alberta. He has all and absolute authority over everybody. He will continue, Albertans, Canadians, hear me. He will continue because he's a majority. He will continue until the election of 2023. And there is nothing the party or the CAs, and I listened to everybody speak at the whistle stop. I heard from the lawyers that were present that promised Human Rights Commission of Canada. They promised that for you. And again, I'm going to tell everybody, I love the enthusiasm. Civil disobedience is a must. You're looking at someone who's been in civil disobedience since he was 18 years old. Started for me in Brooks, Alberta. First time I got involved in civil disobedience. And for those who don't understand unionism and what the great attack was in that year, since 1996, 3 years into the push for Agenda 2021, which Canada has been at the forefront of entirely. Your politicians, both federally and provincially, right across the board. It's been at different scales, but they're all participating in it. There are zero rules of governance, zero constitutions, zero how to govern. There's no power and no mention of you, the people. There never has been since 1867. We are a creation, a constitutional creation of a constitutional monarchy of the colonial system. A colonial system that led to World War I and absolutely World War II. You can look this up. It's factual. It's deadly accurate. And every major expert in the world will back up what I'm telling you right now. All the countries that participated in World War I and World War II that were involved and were at each other were all colonial powers. People who went around the world by military might, taking whatever they wanted, killing whoever they wanted, and imposing their system on all peoples of the world. The Germans, was that the beginning of it? No. The Nazis, was that the beginning of it? No. That was just a highlight of a system, a world constitutional system created by colonial powers that have existed for many hundreds of years. They continued that until the point we reached World War I and then World War II, a war of colonials. Canada is a colonial country, a colony from that system. So's New Zealand, so's Australia. We've never changed, everybody. We have never changed. Almost the entire world, a good majority of 85 countries, now 2 more, are going through the absolute dismemberment of it. But since the end of World War II, 85 countries have participated in absolute abolishment of it. Canada will not abolish it. Your politicians have stolen the crown power of colonialism, embedded in our Constitution since 1952. All parties elected are in bed with it. Every party created is in bed with it. I know I'm a third-class citizen who created a political party. The first third-class citizen ever in the history of Canada to create a party from scratch as a third-class citizen for the people. And when I graduated to that, when I got the registry, I went through an election in a majority situation. I absolutely learned the absolute autocracy, the absolute laws over the party. Many parties are going through it right now that had the best intentions starting. They're already through division, through that crown autocratic power, going through tumultuous situations. Because that's what our system breeds. It's constitutionally embedded and it won't change. Jason Kenney today arrested these 2 people. 2 rights and freedoms. One on the civil side, a business who's likely to see massive fine, enter into all kinds of restrictions with the ability to breach. Whether it's lawful or not, whether it's proper or not, when we talk about justice, is it world justice? Is it domestic justice? The answer is no, it's not. But they will use the absolute autocracy of Jason Kenney's power over our civil rights to destroy Chris Young. They will destroy him. And for what? Standing up for all of you, fighting the good fight. And now he's in prison. He requires lawyers, and lawyers came forward. Oh, we're going to fight for your human rights inside Canada. Canadians, Albertans, there is no lawyer that's going to take you into human rights in the Canadian system of Crown Canada, which is King's Court. I'm going to say it again, what I told everybody at the whistle stop, what I told everybody in Barrie, Ontario, what I've told everybody downtown Toronto at the legislature in Ontario, which is backed up and seen in the University of Ottawa. We see it through Richard Albert, Rand Herschel, 2 of Canada's greatest constitutional experts who are now in the United States of America. Left. That's why they're able to publish the way they are. Top current constitutional experts for Canada. Everybody else is silent. Why? Because our Crown-empowered system, that Crown power I continue to talk about, restricts all your lawyers. They are forced to sign an oath. They don't even think about it. As I went into today, again, about police, which is not fake news, it's reality. Police across all aisles do not swear an oath to you, the people, to serve and protect. They do in the United States of America. In Canada, they swear to Her Majesty and to the Crown, to the Constitution of Canada, which again enforces absolute autocracy of all premiers through Lieutenant Governor up to Prime Minister and Governor General. Limited rules of governance, absolute Crown power. Every public servant, every lawyer, every judge swears that oath. Not to you, the people. You don't exist in the Constitution of Canada. You can sing great songs. Oh, Canada's a great song. But that is just a song, that's not law. In fact, the Constitution of Canada is exactly the opposite of O Canada. Military, people come forward and tell me, oh no, we fight for Canada. No, you don't. That's not the oath you swore. You swore to a foreign nation. You swore to the Constitution of Canada. This is the same for absolutely lawyers, judges, and every politician that ever ascends into an election. Every single one. None of them are ever going to fight for you. The Human Rights Commission here in Canada, which is based in Ontario, set up in the province of Ontario, is a hijack of international law. Canada and all of its politicians don't want you to use a lawyer and ever leave the boundaries of Canada and go out into the real international system. And when they do, it's to the International Court of Justice. Well, what's the International Court of Justice? That's a non-binding court that is only binding if your country says it is. Do you really think when lawyers take you there, First Nations have went there many times, never get anything done? You can go to the Ontario Human Rights, you never get anything done. The only time, and I can prove this in absolute history of Canada and absolute law, the only time anyone's ever won a judgment in Canada on human rights is when the world binding five and the powers of the world in international law have made a law that binds Canada, binds your politicians. I've proved it time and time again. I've mastered international law. Right now, there are many international media corporations that are reporting this. I was able, just so you all know, I'm not banned from Facebook. In fact, I've been restored and been able to tag every single politician in the United States of America across both aisles. Donald Trump Jr., we got Kelly Knight Kraft, we got Joe Biden. I'm able to nail them all because I'm going to the ICC May 12th. United States has allowed that, China's allowed that, Russia's allowed that, UK's allowed that, and France has allowed it. I've gone further in international law, real international law, than any Canadian ever has. I don't have a law degree, I don't need it. I'm getting that audience May 12th. I'm going to fight for the human right, the absolute human right, backed up by absolutely all five. I've already written them as of Christmas, and again I wrote them again for this presentation, and the ICC is giving me audience. I get to go to all their ex-justices, the former president, and several of former prosecutors. After that, whatever I go with, I'm going to know how to do that from these great, tremendous experts. It's going to go to the real ICC. I'm going to fight for freedom of religion. An enshrined human right Canada has no say over. Canada has no choice but to give freedom of religion. And I'm going to prove that. Once that's completed, if it all goes well, the second thing I'm going to do is absolutely First Nations. I'm going to take them from the corruption of the ICJ and the Human Rights Commission of Ontario, the non-binding agreement UNDRIP, which again is Canada trying to usurp the rights over a people in absolute crown corruption that's always been here. I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to fight for it. There's so many wrong narratives in Canada, so many pitfalls for you, the people, and it's not your fault. Your crown government in this absolute autocracy, worse than China. What? We're not communism. We're colonial crown constitutional monarchy, an illegal system outlawed since World War II. The powers that be that run this world, the five countries, did not interpret the definitions the same as how the nouns are defined in their countries. Even the USA. Can you believe that? Even the USA. I have found a way with all the experts in the world who tell me how to do amends. Oh, it's impossible. It's impossible in Canada. It's only impossible if you haven't mastered political science, which I have. And what I presented today is how we do this. We take the crown power through Governor General and all lieutenant governors who are the positions of the crown that absolutely send bills. They don't go to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. They never have. Her father abolished that in 1952. She's a symbol. The Constitution says she has that power, but UK is forbidden to use it in this world. The binding five, including UK, had abolished it, but Canada keeps it alive. And in absolute, it is Prime Minister. It only takes one federal party, the CCP, Canadian Constitutionalist Party. I'm going to do what no one has ever done before if you, the people, give me that vote in 2023. If we get government of Canada, even in a minority, doesn't matter. We, the Prime Minister, can absolutely fire the sitting Governor General, sitting all Lieutenant Governors of every province and every territory. Don't even need a majority, you just need the crown. The back door of the undemocratic system of Canada. We will appoint our own Governor General, all the Lieutenant Governors after we fire the ones in place right now. They will swear to you, the people. They won't send any bills in the House or in any legislature across Canada until you, the people, get constitutionalism. There are no constitutions in any province. The federal constitution is absolute crown, absolutely undemocratic. We will destroy it all with just those key positions. Governor General, Lieutenant Governors across every province and territory. No Premier, no House, or no legislature will be able to send a single bill in Parliament or legislature until you get constitutionalism. You, the people, will write the Constitution. Every Canadian, with the best world experts in the entire world. I have them all, and I only get more. I only get stronger the longer we go. And there's nothing the crown system can do about it. People warn me, Dave, don't get into trouble. Don't let them get you. They're not going to martyr me. The idea is already there. The party's well on its way. We could register tomorrow. God bless all of you for your signatures. It's been huge. But guess what? We need every province. The media, all funded by the crown. They want to keep the autocracy alive. You are the most undemocratic country in a many 1,000-mile radius. Worse than Russia. It's true. Worse than USA by an extremely large margin. We are nothing like the United States of America. We can go on and on through many countries. Again, I'm going to say www.worldconstitutionday.org. You can hashtag World Constitution Day. And guess what? You go on that website, you can take Canada's Constitution in English in its entirety, and you can compare it to any other constitution in the world. There's 205 of them, 196 UN nations, and several not UN nation statuses. Terrible countries and terrible positions, but you can learn absolutely what your Canada is, who's really leading the NWO, who's the real enemy inside the UN, who's leading this General Assembly that doesn't have any real power whatsoever, not to make any international law unless the five say you can. That means either they abstained or they voted yes with you. And you will find 99% of the time the UNSC does not give that power to all of these UN nations. They don't. The UN nations are an ideas machine. Lowest of 6 organs of the UN. There's the real international law, and then there's the ideas. That's all one UN. You go on the website, go, oh, Dave, but look at all these agendas. and you'll find they're non-binding. The UNSC, the Allies of World War II, said nope. What's binding is your charter, 1945. Read it. In that charter, what's happened to Pastor Arthur Coates and what's happened to Artur Pulaski, you will see that's not legal. Taking churches, putting fences around them, not legal in international law. Hasn't been since 1945. Every lawyer that you get, outside of a very, very select few, will try to take you to Canada's system, which is a rogue UN state, who has no authority over UN or international law. It has to go to the ICC, where absolutely Canada will lose. Where absolutely the binding five can absolutely reach out and grab any Canadian politician. When a judgment's made that they accept from the ICC, they can grab any Canadian politician and say, hey, you, we're taking you, and we're going to administer justice on you. They can do that. Your politicians have been running in rogue status since 1952. The true enemy is not all these billionaires, not this UN General Assembly or UN Blue Helmets or all of the special interests. It's your country, your politicians who open the door wide, fill their back pockets and allow them to come in and take from all of you whatever they want as long as the politician gets paid. This is not the same for most of the world. Most of the world, that kind of action is illegal. It's actually even illegal in the UN. You can read the Charter of the UN, 1945, sovereignty absolute. Canada doesn't even operate with sovereignty. They give it away. That's illegal in this world today. You will be hard-pressed to find any nation besides 3 others that give away their sovereignty to another nation, which again is illegal in international law. It's wrong. It's been wrong for so many decades. Canadians are the most conned ever. You only have 11% of Canada made available to you. The rest is off limits. Did you know that China gives 22% of China to the people of China? And that's a communist country. You're that much worse off. They keep trying to densify the region, each region, as much as they can in central populations to drive up your cost of living, to make you all slaves, to borrow against you, to tax you to the extreme, to make life unbearable, when the reality is so much of Canada waits to be settled. That requires First Nations who've been devastated in the longest running genocide in the world today. Since World War II, the First Peoples of Canada are experiencing the worst and longest running genocide ever seen since World War II. That is a fact. And none of your autocratic politicians want to end that. They are twice as bad, if not 3 times worse, than China, the claims they make against China. I'm not saying China's good. I wouldn't even want their system. What I'm telling you is the propaganda you get about all these other nations is distracting from the fact that you are in a worse situation here in Canada. Look at the cost of your homes. Look at the density of China or India and the lack thereof of Canada, yet somehow your standard of living gets worse and worse all the time. You're not getting any better. You look at China, even in communism, their standard of living's been going like this. Ours is going like this. Wake up. That's what this video is about. Wake up to your absolute autocrats. Jason Kenney, Doug Ford, Justin Trudeau, and many others. John Horgan out of BC. It doesn't matter. Liberal, NDP, Conservative. This has always been there. They're constantly stealing your rights. Why do we say they're enshrined rights if the politicians are able to take them. It's because you're in a crown colonial constitutional monarchy. Look it up. Read your Canadian Constitution. You don't get your rights. The politicians get absolute authority. Federally, near invincible authority. Provincially, absolute and 100% authority over all of your civil rights, which are two-thirds of the rights promised to you in the Canadian Constitution. No premier ever wants to give them to you. They work with whatever prime minister is elected from any party. They all work together. They lie to you. They tell you they're for you, but you're not listed in the Constitution. Neither are the First Peoples. You can say, oh yeah, we are, we're in the Charter. The Charter is a separate document inside your overriding Constitution that gives those crown-empowered politicians to decide how to administer the Charter and your civil rights. Your only recourse is the international human rights. International, real ones, not Ontario. Not the International Court of Justice that's only binding if your country says it is. Do you think your politicians are going to face any justice if it's voluntary? No, never. They never will. There's only one court, the ICC. And any time it's ever sniffed out or binding laws come forward against Canada, Canada reacts. I can prove this all day long. Any time you've won a judgment in court, I can show you how just months before in the same year, the international system said, Canada, this is world law, you follow, or we're going to put sanctions, embargoes, military intervention, and maybe upwards of execution. If you don't think this is real, I can show you a long list of many people. Just recently, Soleimani was blown to pieces by the United States of America, President Donald Trump. Is he the first president? No. Every president-elect within a term or two will execute somebody throughout the world. Russia does it all the time. France has done it more than anybody, including 22 presidents. UK's done it, China's done it, and they'll continue to do it because that is the power they were given, voted by every nation of the world, 1945. There's a way to hold them to account, but it requires all five of them to bind something. Right now, we're waiting for USA and Russia to bind. USA makes a deal with Russia to absolutely bind the 1948 Declaration of Human Rights. If they do that and Russia agrees, when any one of them breaks one of those binding, all five voted laws voted by the world in majority, they can be kicked out of the UNSC, lose their power, lose their seat. That's the truth. We have one little vote left. Read the Declaration of Human Rights, 1948. If Joe Biden can get Vladimir Putin to sign that, make a deal to drop sanctions, finish President Richard Nixon's work, the world is going to be a terrifically much better place, and we can end the Great Reset. I don't know how much influence the special interests have. It's really up to President Joe Biden. Donald Trump didn't bother to do it in his term. We can't give people a pass just because we feel that somehow they're great and wonderful in few aspects. He had the power to do that. He didn't do it in all his 4 years. Now it's on Joe Biden's plate. Will he do it? I don't know. I hope so. The world needs this done. Are the five what they said they were in 1945? Are they really what they are? Or is it not? I guess we'll find out. I hope this video reaches a lot of people. I hope you share it out. They're arresting people, breaching human rights, freedom of religion, taking civil rights, putting astronomical fines, criminal penalty now, an injunction placed. And Chris Young was arrested for trying to run a business. They fined him so tremendously, wouldn't renew his food license. They're going to try and crush him, and Chris is going to take that beating for all Albertans and all Canadians. They're using civil rights, every premier, to absolutely steal your charter rights. They refuse with the Crown authority to provide any real scientific evidence. Worse than that, this is for the Binding Five and all the Americans I tagged here. The Canadian politicians are absolutely violating your human rights that you ratified and bound in this world, and you're going to let them go. They did freedom of movement larger than any country in the entire world during the entire pandemic. America, the people listed here, Democrat and Republican. How can Canada justify massive international freedom of movement when all of you locked it down, but Canada exploded with it? Larger than any other country in the world. We have so many variants in such a not densely populated country of such mass. 10 times less than the United States of America. Bigger. But yet we have rampant COVID like nobody else. Why? Because we imported COVID on planes. And then they said it's the people's fault. They're not 6 feet apart. They're not wearing baloney cloth masks that won't stop a virus. It'll go right through. Asbestos particle will go through a cloth mask. Do you think I go to work wearing a cloth mask to stop an asbestos particle, which is massive in size in comparison to a virus particle? They say, oh, it's in a water drop, it won't pass through. Well, if that's true, then why are so many coming in on planes bringing in so many variants? The truth is masks haven't made a difference. You know the science doesn't back up your claims. The science proves that it was freedom of movement, not freedom of religion and local people in rural communities having church services. It wasn't that. It was freedom of movement. The politicians killed any and all elderly people in nursing homes and sent this pandemic into the numbers it was, which aren't even very much at all. But those who died by the politicians, not religious services or people getting together. People wash their hands, they follow the government, but it wasn't enough. The pandemic keeps coming. More waves, more waves. Just look at immigration and international travel. No country in the world per person per capita participated in international travel or immigration like Canada throughout the entire pandemic. When I get to ICC, I'm going to prove my case in absolute exhibits. Provable, viable by the government themselves. I have it all. And that's what I'm going to get to the ICC. And then we're going to find out, was it Pastor Coates or Pastor Pawlowski? Was it? Or was it absolutely all your elected politicians? It was them. They state it's a pandemic, not me. And everybody watching this, it isn't what I believe or not believe. It's what the government mandated, what world powers mandated. And Canada chose to ignore the world powers and world international law and said, we're going to make our own. And no Canadians allowed to go outside our brand of international law. We're the crown, we're absolute, even though we're illegal in this world today. Americans, how do you not see this? Joe Biden, how do you not see this? Kelly Craft, how do you not see what Canada is comparatively to what the USA is? I don't know. We're going to see. I hope this finds a lot of you very well. You should share it because it's 100% true, verifiable, and real. Can be backed up? Absolutely. Thank you. That's my video today. Sorry I couldn't get the whistle stop out. There are some chopped up videos. Some guys did get out. It was great. I got a couple views, a couple shots. It's their settings if they're not shareable. Sorry, I can't change their Facebook, but you can view it on my timeline. Thank you, everybody. I know.